evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, Asaduddin Owaisi's car was attacked while he was on campaign trail in Uttar Pradesh. Shots were fired at his vehicle while he was returning to Delhi from Meerut at a toll booth in Hapur. The assailants caught on camera were arrested within 24 hours. They even owned up to opening fire to intimidate Owaisi for his provocative speeches. Based on what transpired in the last 24 hours, the central government decided to upgrade Owaisi's security and give him the Z security category. 6 to 8 armed commandos of the CRPF will now guard the sitting member of parliament, or at least that was the plan before the AIMIM MP in an emphatic speech in Lok Sabha rejected the security cover. He said he wouldn't want to be protected until every single individual in this country felt safe. He said, "I don't want to be suffocated." The reference to radicalism made by Owaisi has ruffled a few feathers. Listen in to what Owaisi said in Parliament today, rejecting his Z category security, saying that he wanted A category citizen treatment rather than Z category security.
ये रेडिकलाइज हो चुके हैं तो भारत की इससे राइट विंग कम्युनिज्म और टेररिज्म बढ़ेगा। मैं आपसे अपील कर रहा हूं कि जो गलती NDA 1 में की थी आप वही करने जा रहे हैं। आपको नुकसान होगा, आपकी सरकार को नुकसान होगा, देश को तो देश की सालिमियत को खतरा तो पैदा हो रहा है। मैं नहीं लूंगा सिक्योरिटी, मैं Z कैटेगरी नहीं चाहता हूं सिक्योरिटी। मुझे A कैटेगरी का शहरी बनाइए आप, मुझे A कैटेगरी का शहरी बनाइए ताकि मेरी और आपकी जिंदगी बराबर हो।
No, I'm not asking. I am asking for a permission to keep a bulletproof car. I'm asking for because I have a license to hold arms. I'm asking for a Glock weapon to be given to me, which is not given to every other license holder. And as far as I know, the experts have told me, and I also know that the Glock weapon is a superior weapon. And in such scenarios which happened, the weapon can continuously fire all the rounds. It's the best possible handheld weapon, or a revolver or pistol, what do you call it. That is what that can only be given if the government of India decides. I'll make a request, it's up to them.
Well, let me refresh Mr. Owaisi's memory just a little, because there's a lot that he said today, but what was equally important is what he left unsaid. Owaisi said, "I don't want Z category security and don't want to be suffocated." But he forgot that Z category cover is given by government on the basis of threat perception, and he is a sitting member of parliament. He asked why UAPA was not invoked against those who fired at him yesterday. A valid question to ask, but it's just been 24 hours and the assailants are behind bars. Owaisi also said that the Home Ministry must form a special cell to tackle this kind of radicalization, meaning Hindu fringe groups that were inciting youth. But he had maintained complete silence on the murder of a 27-year-old Kishan Dharwar in Gujarat on provocation from a Muslim cleric. In fact, he didn't even comment on statements made by Tauqir Raza and many others before him. Raising the Dharam Sansad and hate comments made there, Owaisi said that was proof of the growing hatred in India. Has Mr. Owaisi forgotten comments made by himself and his brother, who had said that 25 crore will kill 100 crore Hindus if cops are removed for 10 minutes? While the opposition attacked the ruling party for crushing dissent, the BJP advised Mr. Owaisi to introspect and not incite, highlighting the swift action both at the state and the central level. Also assuring that Home Minister Amit Shah would make a statement on the floor of the House on Monday. So the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight: who's trying to vitiate the atmosphere in Uttar Pradesh this election season? That's the question, and that's the debate. Owaisi Snubs security, that's the hashtag and the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining me tonight, Sanju Verma, BJP spokesperson, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate in the Supreme Court, Waris Pathan, AIMIM spokesperson, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst. My first question goes to Mr. Waris Pathan. And Mr. Waris Pathan, I want to ask you, Mr. Owaisi, while raising the question of absolute radicalization, spoke about radicalization on one side, about the Hindu fringe groups. What about radicalization on the other side? Question many people are asking. Also, he said that he wants a revolver and a gun which can actually shoot and give him protection. I want to know, if he wants the same treatment as the rest of the citizens in this country, why only revolver for him? Why not for all of those women who are vulnerable in this country? Why not for all of those people who have faced criminals in their lives before? Why not those people who face attacks every other day? Why only for himself, when he just a few minutes before that had said that he wants equal treatment like the rest of the citizens in this country? I want to ask you that question, Mr. Waris Pathan.
Well, first and foremost, Navika, I strongly condemn the cowardly attack on our party.
We all do. We all do, and we've done so since yesterday.
This is the attack on the democracy and the constitution of our country. Well, very good. Thank you so much. Now, coming back to who are the assailants. Their names are disclosed. Everybody knows them. They are affiliated to the BJP. Their photographs are shown there on the social media. Now, who have radicalized them? This was a pre-planned conspiracy hatched by them. They knew the Asaduddin Owaisi Sahib will be travelling from this place to Delhi and he will be crossing the toll. They were waiting for him, and at the right time they fired shots. Now, who has radicalized them? The radicalization happens when Modi allows such kind of Dharam Sansars to take place in the country. In Haridwar, Dharam Sansar took place. Raipur, Dharam Sansar took place when the Congress government was there. Prayagraj, the Dharam Sansar took place. And what was taught in the Dharam Sansar? No Ramayana, no Mahabharata was taught. There the call for genocide of the Muslims were given. In a 20-hour Dharam Sansar, children, small children, Navika, we teach our children that, son, pick up a pen, take a book, be a good lawyer, be a good doctor, be a good anchor like Navika Kumar, interview top political leaders. But what was taught there? Drop pen, pick up a gun, pick up a sword and massacre the Muslims. If this is the ideology which is engraved in the minds of such kind of people, what will happen in our country? Then Yogi, who has taken oath on the constitution, who is the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, he talks about goli, this, hum bhasha nahi samjhayenge, ठोक डालूंगा वाला पॉलिसी इस्तेमाल करेंगे. When he uses this kind of language, चर्बी पिघाल देंगे, गर्मी निकाल देंगे. Now what happens to these people? Their mind get radicalized, and such kind of incidents happen place. And I will not be surprised, because Hindu Sena has already said they will be providing legal aid, and they will see to it that once they are out on bail, they will be given a portfolio, they will make the Hindutva poster boys, and BJP ministers will go there with garlands in their hand, offer them sweets, and again they will come out and do such kind of activities.
15 मिनट के लिए पुलिस हटा दीजिए. 25 करोड़ 100 करोड़ पर भारी पड़ेंगे, ये योगी जी ने कहा था. और एक और वाक्य कहा था, और अभी हाल ही में कहा था कि मोदी योगी चले जाएंगे, एक केदारनाथ चला जाएगा, एक मठ में चले जाएगा, तब तुमको कौन बचाएगा. ये तो पुलिस वालों को कहा था. ये किसने कहा था? ये योगी जी ने कहा था या असदुद्दीन ओवैसी साहब ने कहा था? वारिस पठान, ये जो थोड़े से मेमोरी इंक्रीज करने वाले जो पिल्स हैं वो खा लेने चाहिए. जब आप रेडिकलाइजेशन की बात करते हैं, उंगली उठाते हैं दूसरों पर, जब ऐसे उंगली उठाते हैं तो 3 उंगलियां अपनी तरफ जो दिखा रही हैं वो भी देख लीजिए. वारिस पठान साहब,
मैं कुछ आपकी भी मेमोरी को मैं ताज़ा करना चाहता हूं. नविका जी, आप तो बड़ी एंकर है, याद रखती है, लेकिन आप भी जरा याद रखिए ना, 80 बनाम 20 किसने कहा था? अब्बा जान, भाईजान, दादाजान किसने कहा था?
पिछले हफ्ते मैंने योगी जी से इंटरव्यू में पूछा था, और उन्होंने कहा 80 बनाम 20 मेरा मतलब हिंदू मुस्लिम से नहीं था. मेरा मतलब हिंदू मुस्लिम से नहीं था, उन्होंने कहा.
अच्छा, अब मैं आपको आगे आता हूँ.
उन्होंने तो क्लैरिफाई किया, उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई किया और मैंने बहुत परसिस्टेंट तरीके से ये सवाल पूछा था, उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई किया। ओवैसी साहब से मैंने तौकीर रजा पे क्वेश्चन किया था, बस 10 दिन पहले एक लफ्ज नहीं बोला था उन्होंने। अपनी स्टेटमेंट पे मैंने कहा, उन्होंने कहा मैंने इसका मतलब मैं डरा नहीं रहा हूं। वारिस पठान साहब, कभी कभी अपने गरिमा में भी जहां के देख लेना चाहिए। आदमी की जो फितरत होती है ना, वो पूरी तरह आईने की तरह नजर आ जाती है आंखों के सामने, और अपनी यादाश्त भी ताजा हो जाती है। लेकिन संजू वर्मा जी, मैं इसीलिए कह रही हूं वारिस पठान जी, क्योंकि पिछले 2 हफ्ते में इन द लास्ट 2 वीक्स आई हैव इंटरव्यूड बोथ द चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ उत्तर Pradesh, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, and I have interviewed Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, and I have asked them equally questions that they needed to answer.
You forgot to interview Sadhvi Pragya Singh Thakur.
No, she's not a dramatic persona in this election. She's not a dramatic persona in this election.
She's a member of parliament. She is also a member of parliament.
तो जब मौका आएगा उनको भी कर लेंगे। लेकिन संजू वर्मा जी जवाब दीजिए। नहीं, वैसे तो मैंने अकबरुद्दीन ओवैसी साहब को भी नहीं किया है, उनको भी करूंगी।
May I please?
संजू वर्मा,
मेरे को भी कर लीजिए नविका जी इंटरव्यू।
आपको तो रोज करती हूँ।
Navika ji, now I did not heckle Varis Pathan. I'm sure he'll accord me the courtesy. First and foremost, I want to tell you, Navika ji, the interview with Yogi Adityanath was outstanding. And the interview with the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was equally outstanding. Kudos to you. Now I'll come straight to the point.
My guests are flattering me today. Flattery is not going to get anybody anywhere.
No.
बात करिए, इसके कोई नंबर नहीं है।
अरे भाई, flattery is not one of my strong points. Flattery is not one of my strong points. मुझे तो लगा मैंने आपको खुले दिल से बोला है।
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Navika ji. I will now, name the life of Varis Pathan, but before that, I want to condemn with no ifs or buts whatsoever the attack on Asaduddin Owaisi. Nobody in BJP is going to stand up and say, nahi attack hua, galat hua, par aisa nahi tha, waisa nahi tha. No, I'm not going to indulge in whataboutery on that front. The second and more important point, something which I take strong offense to, Navika, is when he said, यदि ये नौजवानों को कंट्रोल नहीं करेंगे, there will be an increase in right-wing communalism and right-wing extremism. तो मिस्टर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी, आपको कुछ बताना चाहती हूँ, and I'm quoting from the latest report of the United Nations. This is not Sanju Verma speaking, but this is the United Nations, which said that 20 million people were killed by the Bolshevik plague, the Gulag detention camp. More than 60 million people were killed by Mao Zedong's failed experiment called the Great Leap. And more than 6 million Jews were exterminated by the Nazi Holocaust. But the biggest threat to the 21st century and the future generations comes from radicalized Islam. It says 9 out of the top 10 terror organizations in the world belong to a Muslim DNA that propagates radicalized Islam. Jaish-e-Mohammed, Jamaat-ud-Dawa, Lashkar-e-Toiba, so on and so forth. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, of course, who can forget them? So Varis Pathan, जब radicalization की बात करते हो ना, अपनी खुद की community के ऊपर पहले जाकर देखिए, beat the Charlie Hebdo attack, beat the Brussels bombing, beat the Orlando nightclub bombing, beat the Mecca Medina bombing, beat the Turkey airport bombing, beat 26/11, beat the 1993 Mumbai blast, beat the 2006
talk about India.
blast, beat
Ajmer
the
Sharif blast,
2001
Malegaon blast,
Radical
Malegaon blast,
Islam
Ajmer
was
blast, Sadhvi Pragya, Colonel Purohit, who are they are all Islamic terrorists. We are the people who have always condemned terrorists and terrorist organizations.
Oh yes, if you've condemned terrorists, then why did Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi say, why did he say that only Muslims are being hanged in this country, and the reason Yaqub Memon is being hanged is because he's a Muslim? You were condemning terrorists. I want to ask you that. I want to ask you, Waris Pathan, were you condemning terrorists there?
Allow me.
May I please finish?
Allow me.
May I please finish?
Yes,
I did not
yes, we are.
interrupt him. I need to
Owaisi was the first person to call Baghdadi, the ISI chief, as the hell of dog. And we always condemn terrorism and all kind of terrorist activities. And
Exception of Yaqub Memon.
Let me refresh your memory. Asad Owaisi said the way he was hanged was different, and that letter was given to the president, which was signed by then late Mr.
Justification for Yaqub Memon. Sanju Verma. Justification for Yaqub Memon. But condemnation of Sadhvi Pragya, against whom no charges as of now have been proved. The whole case is still underway. Sanju Verma.
72 signatories had gone to the president.
One minute. Hold on, Waris Pathan. Let the lady respond.
Yes. So let me complete. From the 1993 Mumbai bomb blast to the 2001 Parliament attack, in which Afzal Guru was involved, to the 26/11 attack, to the 9/11 attack in the United States, to the German bakery blast, to the Chinnaswamy attack in Bengaluru, to the Shaheen Bagh riot, where your chahetas like
Ajmer Sharif,
Khalid Saifi, Safura Zargar are involved.
Sadhvi Pragya
is what you should be concerned about.
Kindly name them. Kindly talk about them.
But respond. Sanju Verma, respond to the charge. He says the assailants who fired upon Asaduddin Owaisi were from the BJP, so this was orchestrated by you. Respond to that question.
My simple response is this: whether Shubham and Sachin Pandit are involved, linked with the BJP or not, the fact is, let the investigation come to a logical conclusion. I refuse to say that, X, Y is culpable sitting on a television debate. अरे आज तक उमर खालिद की ये लोग दुहाई देते हैं, सफूरा जरगार की दुहाई देते हैं.
Why don't you apply the stringent sections of UAPA?
Now
a man puts a comment on the Facebook and UAPA is applied on him.
So let me get in Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari. Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, my question to you is straight off the bat. And I want to ask you, is there radicalization of the right wing alone? What about your own candidate, Mr. Ansari, who calls Hindu Gardi as a phenomenon? And I want to ask you, do you agree with this statement of Hindu Gardi? ये Hindu Gardi होता क्या है?
गुड इवनिंग नविका जी, आपको, दर्शकों को और को पैनलिस्ट को, फॉर्मर यूनियन मिनिस्टर महेश शर्मा, चीफ मिनिस्टर योगी आदित्यनाथ, श्रीचंद शर्मा, apparently the Guruji. These are just some of the leaders who Sachin Pandit is apparently close to, as per the news media reports. So, if there is any Gardi, Dehshat Gardi, that is what Bharatiya Janata Party stands for. And as far as radicalization is concerned, BJP uses a jumla called 70 years. 70 साल में हमने इतनी हिंदू मुस्लिम बहसें नहीं देखी आपके चैनल पे और अन्य चैनलों पे जितने पिछले 7 सालों में देखी हैं. तो जो भी गर्दी है देश के में, वो मीडिया जो हर रोज हिंदू मुस्लिम बहस कराता है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कहने पे, वो जिम्मेदार है इस देश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी द्वारा प्रायोजित हेट के लिए. और जहां तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी का सवाल है, एडीआर की रिपोर्ट बताती है अप्रैल 2018 की कि 58 जो लोग हैं जिनके ऊपर हेट स्पीचेस के मुकदमे हैं, डिक्लेयर्ड केसेस, उसमें से 27 MPs and MLAs are from Bharatiya Janata Party. The Chief Minister himself in Uttar Pradesh, you have a Chief Minister who has been charged with 302 murder and attempt to murder in the past. You have a Deputy Chief Minister charged with murder. You have a Minister of State coming from Uttar Pradesh, Minister of State for Home, charged for murder. And you have a Home Minister who in 2014 was questioned
आपका
on
कहना है कि आपके पूरे लिस्ट में किसी के खिलाफ कोई क्रिमिनल चार्जेस नहीं है. Are you saying that?
मेरा ये कहना है कि आदित्यनाथ जी ने आपकी बस, आपके टीवी चैनल की बस को झंडी दिखाई होगी, लेकिन पूरे प्रदेश में हेट को भी झंडी दिखाई है. 80-20 की जो स्पीच है वो हेट स्पीच है. आप उसे डिफेंड कर रही हैं, इससे मुझे दुख होता है.
नहीं, मैं बिल्कुल डिफेंड नहीं कर रही. और मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ, मैं आपको पूछना चाहती हूँ कि हिंदू गर्दी पर कोई एक्शन हुआ? कोई एक्शन
तो 7 साल से जो मीडिया हर रोज हिंदू मुस्लिम बहस करा रहा है उस पर कोई नहीं हुआ। एक्शन तो जो
तो आप क्या चाह रहे हैं, आप क्या चाह रहे हैं, आप क्या चाह रहे हैं कि कोई हिंदू मुंह ही ना खोले?
भारत की सरकार, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार, आदित्यनाथ की सरकार हेट को बढ़ावा देती है, एक्शन नहीं लेती है।
नहीं तो ओवैसी साहब का जो स्टेटमेंट था कि मोदी और योगी चले जाएंगे उसके बाद तुम्हें कौन बचाएगा, ये मोहब्बत की बात थी?
एक ही स्टेटमेंट को रिपीट करने से वो स्टेटमेंट रियलिटी तो नहीं हो सकता। हम रोज आपके चैनल पे आकर के ये नहीं कह सकते कि आपने कितनी हिंदू मुस्लिम बहसें कराई। एक स्टेटमेंट किसी का डिफेंस नहीं हो सकता।
नहीं तो मुझे ये बताइए, आई वांट टू गेट इन इश्करण भंडारी, हैव वी मेड दिस हिंदू मुस्लिम? Have we made this Hindu-Muslim? Yes. When Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, a respected member of parliament, picks up the issue of the attack on him and says this is because there are two Indias, and he mentions radicalization. Is it my fault that I am discussing this and debating this tonight on the show? Have I made it Hindu-Muslim? Am I responsible for making it Hindu-Muslim? Or is every single political party which is taking part in elections in Uttar Pradesh, each one of them which says Hindu Gardi, each one of them that says that there is radicalization of Hindus and of the right wing, are they making it Hindu-Muslim? I want to ask you this question.
जी नाविका जी, मैंने किसी को इंटरप्ट नहीं किया, प्लीज इंटरप्ट ना करें, क्योंकि मुझे पता है इंटरप्शन शुरू हो जाएगी जैसे ही मैं ये बोलूंगा। अगर किशन भार्गव की हत्या की जाती है, क्या मीडिया उसको डिबेट नहीं करेगी? और अगर मीडिया उसको डिबेट करेगी तो आप इसको हिंदू मुस्लिम का नाम दे देंगे? अगर कमलेश तिवारी का गला काटा जाता है और जो लोग आज मोहब्बत की बात करते हैं वो उसके समर्थन में दिखते हैं, तो क्या मीडिया उस पर डिबेट नहीं करेगी? अगर डिबेट करेगी तो क्या वो हिंदू मुस्लिम हो जाएगा? आज हाई कोर्ट गुवाहाटी ने एक फैसला होल्ड किया है कि हिमंता बिस्वा शर्मा ने कहा सरकारी पैसा मदरसा चलाने के लिए नहीं लगाया जाएगा, ये सेक्युलरिज्म के खिलाफ है। आज हाई कोर्ट ने उसको अपहोल्ड किया है। अगर इसकी बात करें, क्यों इतने साल सरकारी पैसों से मदरसा चला और रिलीजियस इंस्टीट्यूशन गई, तो उसकी अगर बहस करेंगे तो आप इसको हिंदू मुस्लिम कह देंगे? ये सारी चीजें इस देश में हो रही थी और मीडिया से भी ज्यादा सोशल मीडिया पे एक्सपोज होना शुरू हुई, हत्याएं होनी शुरू हुई, गले कटने शुरू हुए, तो उसको अगर डिबेट नहीं करेंगे तो आप अपने प्रोफेशन के साथ नाइंसाफी करेंगी। और ये इंटिमिडेशन टैक्टिक है कि ना आप बोलें कि जो किशन भार्गव मरता है उसके बारे में चर्चा ना हो मीडिया पे, इसलिए ये प्रेशर डालते हैं कि हिंदू मुस्लिम बहस मत कीजिए, आप हिंदुओं को मारना बंद कीजिए, हिंदू मुस्लिम बहस बंद हो जाएगी। पर ये करिए, मोहब्बत की बात करते हैं, मोहब्बत करिए, 15 मिनट के लिए पुलिस हटा दो, धमकियां मत दीजिए, अपने आप बहस खत्म हो जाएगी। इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा।
Well, I want to get in Tehseen Poonawala. Tehseen Poonawala, I want to ask a straight question off the bat. Samajwadi Party and Owaisi, both are blaming the BJP. Do you think this whole incident is a coincidence in the middle of elections? And is this somebody saying who planned it, who's behind it? So somebody must have planned it. Who do you think has planned it, and who's trying to vitiate the atmosphere in the UP elections?
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for having me on your panel. Good evening to all my fellow panelists and to all your viewers. If you believe that somebody's planned this and
it's not my belief. It is the statement made by Asaduddin Owaisi in the House.
That's true. And if Owaisi sir believes that it's been planned, I have no reasons to disagree with him. If he believes it was planned, and I'm happy he's safe, who benefits from this? Obviously, in this polarization, parties that are centrist, like the Congress, the SP and the BSP, though I'm opposed to the SP politically, tend not to benefit. So which parties benefit? The two fringe parties, the two extremist parties. So if Owaisi Saab says this, that must be investigated. Now please think about this. In Uttar Pradesh, where night after night we are told...
So Samajwadi Party is a centrist party, Congress party which says we depend on Muslim votes, and remember that conversation and that statement by Mr. Kamal Nath that came out कि हमें तो मुसलमानों के वोट चाहिए. Centrist party? By which definition?
If you think Akhilesh Yadav, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra are not centrist but are extremists, then I can just feel that I feel sorry. And if you feel that Adityanath and Owaisi are centrist, then I just feel even more sorry. But here's the fact.
I'm not saying they are extremists, but I'm saying, are you being hypocritical? Don't twist my words. Are you being hypocritical, Tehseen Poonawala? I know you are not short of words in your vocabulary. Extremist is not the word I said. I am asking you, why don't you look at the hypocrisy of the Congress party, which you sit here to defend? Because they, on many occasions, have come out and talked about Muslim votes, and they've been caught speaking about it in meetings both by Kamal Nath and by Rahul Gandhi. So stop being hypocritical.
Who gains it? An MP is attacked during elections by BJP supporters. What is this showing you? It shows you that Uttar Pradesh is a failed state, there is no law and order, and somebody is gaining from it. Who's gaining from it?
So Varis Pathan, कांग्रेस का कहना है कि जबरदस्ती आपने ये किया क्योंकि आपको भी गेन होगा. You become the icon of the Muslim parties, of the Muslim voters, and the BJP gains because they will help to polarize and get the Hindu votes. Are you a bystander, by the way, Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, in all of this?
Navika, why am I not being...
I'm coming to you in a minute.
They are two sides of the same coin. My name is Varis Pathan. Allow me to make my point. Navika, let me tell you, the BJP and the Congress are two sides of the same coin. Today in Parliament, Asad bhai also spoke about... अरे भाई मुझे बोलने दो.
अरे भाई आपकी पार्टी और भाजपा
मुझे बोलने दो. असद ओवैसी साहब ने आज पार्लियामेंट में ये भी कहा. अरे तहसीन भाई,
आजादी के पहले आपने 3 सूबों में आपने...
अरे सुनो. भाई ने आज पार्लियामेंट में ये भी कहा कि हम उनकी बुलेट का जवाब बैलेट से देंगे, उनकी नफरत का जवाब मोहब्बत से देंगे, और मुझे सिक्योरिटी भी नहीं चाहिए, मुझे आजाद हवाओं में घूमना है. हाँ, मैं एक अर्जी करूंगा कि मुझे बुलेट प्रूफ गाड़ी दी जाए और एक गन रखने का मुझे लाइसेंस दिया जाए. नविका जी ने कहा कि फिर तो देश की सारी लेडीज को मिलना चाहिए. इसका मतलब नविका जी ये मानती है कि हमारे देश की लेडीज सुरक्षित नहीं है. तो देश में राज किसका है? बीजेपी का. उत्तर प्रदेश में राज किसका है? योगी का. तो क्या सारी महिलाएं सुरक्षित है? मैं कहना चाह रहा था कि असद साहब एक मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है, एंड फॉर हिज सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी ही माइट बी गिवन अ लाइसेंस, बिकॉज वंस यू कीप अ लाइसेंस विद यू, द क्रिमिनल हु इंटेंड्स टू अटैक यू फील्स दैट
वो तो कह रहे हैं it's a staged attack. It's a staged attack because you gain from it. Answer that charge.
Who says?
तहसीन कह रहे हैं क्या?
No, these are lies and canards will be spread by such kind of people who have no standing in the UP elections. I don't want to name that party. With due respect, allow me to make
आपके साथ ही है ना UPA
the fight, the UP people will show. होने दो, but where are they? They are not on the ground. यूपी में तो ओनली पतंग एवरीवेयर. ओनली असद ओवैसी is seen everywhere. People are flocking. Love is being showered on him. Thousands are coming. Where is going for door-to-door campaign?
Sanju Verma,
with the people of
Sanju Verma, तहसीन पूनावाला's charges that आपकी और AIMIM की सांठगांठ है. आपने करवाया, उन्होंने सहा और ड्रामा बनाया क्योंकि you stand to gain. Respond to the charge.
असद ओवैसी जीतबा. This is, I hope I am right. इस वक्त बीजेपी उत्तर प्रदेश में हारबा, योगी मटवा जाबा, असद ओवैसी जीतबा. Take it from me in writing.
Navika, what kind of a debate are you conducting? You're not going to break Varis Pathan in. I'm not going to debate if you don't give me my time.
Who are you to
संजू जी आप बोल लीजिए. I will be accused of radicalizing people, so please, I'm very careful with Mr. Varis Pathan today. But Varis Pathan ji, please.
Why should enough opportunity be given to her?
Of course, the charge has been made at her. You've answered, and now it's her turn to answer. Varis Pathan saab. Yes.
Why does she want special treatment?
No special treatment. No special treatments for members of parliament. Also no special treatment, and non-members of parliament also no special treatment. Sanju Verma, please respond. Please respond.
The topic involves me, and that is why I'm on the debate.
What is going on? What kind of debate is this? I did not tackle him. I refuse to debate if he continues to behave like a goon. Can you rate this goon? Navika Kumar, can you rate?
You can. Ask people kindly see the Twitter what people are called. No, don't take names. If you call me goon, I have a tongue in my mouth. I know what words to use. Please don't use personal words. Otherwise, know what words to use. No.
1 minute. Allow me. अगर आपको उत्तर प्रदेश में चीफ मिनिस्टर बनना है, अगर ये आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव है वारिस पठान आपकी पार्टी का, तो सुनने की भी थोड़ी सी आदत डाल लीजिए, सुन लीजिए, जनता की भी आवाज सुननी पड़ेगी थोड़ी बहुत। एक मिनट
सुनेंगे, लेकिन बकवास नहीं सुनेंगे।
अच्छा, प्लीज नो अनपार्लियामेंट्री लैंग्वेज, नो अनपार्लियामेंट्री लैंग्वेज। वारिस पठान साहब गुजारिश है आपसे, एक गिलास ठंडा पानी पीजिए, दुनिया फिर से अच्छी लगने लग जाएगी। एक गिलास ठंडा पानी पी लीजिए, दुनिया इतनी बुरी भी नहीं है जितना आप समझ रहे हैं। एक मिनट, संजू जी।
आपकी बात मैं मान रहा हूँ, वरिष्ठ एंकर है, इसकी वजह से आपकी बात मानते हुए मैं पानी पी रहा हूँ।
नाविका जी, फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट, लास्ट वीक वारिस पठान face was blackened by a man called Saddam who belongs to a Muslim leader called Azad Patel.
Who said lies?
And he said it is because of the divisive politics of Waris Patan that मैंने इनका चेहरे पर कालक पोती है।
Who said? Where did she get this from? Navika, WhatsApp forwards are being played on your channel. What a debate, my God.
इंदौर के दरगाह के
अरे आपके चेहरे पे देश कालक पोत रहा है, मुझे क्या बोल रहे हो? आपके घर में बच्चे को काला टीका लगाते तो उसको कालक पोतना बोलते हैं। आपके घर में बच्चे को काला टीका लगाते नजर का तो कालक पोतना बोलते हैं।
वारिस पठान जी, आप इस तरह से बीच में बोलते रहेंगे, तो हाउ इज इट गोइंग to be possible? She is the member of a national party. She is the official spokesperson. She has the right to speak. Waris Pathan ji, may I please request Sanju Verma ji to come back? Waris Pathan ji, you know, you don't agree with her. I will give you turn to respond to her, but you can't constantly heckle somebody. I'm sorry. I am sorry. आपको हाउस में स्पीकर का संरक्षण मिलता, उन्होंने बोलने की इजाजत दी थी। आज मैं संरक्षण दे रही हूं संजू वर्मा जी को, उनको बोलने की इजाजत है और वो बोलेंगी। आपको जो भी बोलना उसके बाद बोलिएगा। आपका मैं फेडर आपको बताकर लोअर कर रही हूं, सो दैट यू डोंट डिस्टर्ब संजू जी। ये संजू वर्मा।
थैंक यू नाविका जी, पहली बात तो ये, दिस इज अ ट्वीट बाय ANI at 2:38 PM written on the 20th of February 2020 after Waris Pathan made an inflammatory speech where he said, सिर्फ अभी तो शेरनियां बाहर निकली हैं, he meant Muslim women। जब हम शेर बाहर निकलेंगे ना, हम 15 करोड़, तुम 100 करोड़ हिंदुओं पर भारी पड़ेंगे। I challenge Waris Pathan to say कि ANI की ट्वीट गलत है। Point number 1. Point number 2, I stay in Mumbai. Do you know something, Navika ji? बाइकला में 2019 की तो महाराष्ट्र चुनाव वारिस पठान बुरी तरह से हार गए। 2014 में when he had won from Baikala, you know what his supporters said, and he was parading very proudly. ऊपर छतरी नीचे छाया, ऊपर छतरी नीचे छाया, भागो हिंदू, ओवैसी आया। This is the speech made by Waris Pathan and his supporters in Baikala in Mumbai. शर्म करो, यहां पर आकर सेक्युलरिज्म पर भाषण, पीस पर भाषण, भाईचारे पर भाषण, मोहब्बत पर भाषण, और बाहर निकलकर आपके असदुद्दीन ओवैसी शाहीन बाग के दौरान बोलते हैं शाहीन बाग राइट को कंट्रोल।
All right. Charges have been made on Waris Pathan. Respond. You have exactly 45 minutes to respond to Sanju Verma. 45 seconds to respond to Sanju Verma.
First and foremost, I won from Baikala election. Second, I stood second in the Baikala 2019 election when the Shiv Sena, BJP, Gauli, everybody gathered together, and I lose with a very few margin. Now I challenge Sanju Verma. Anywhere in Mumbai contest corporation election, anywhere from Mumbai contest corporation election, your deposit will be forfeited. We will see to it that your deposit is forfeited. And these words I have never used. Show me, otherwise tomorrow I will give you a defamation notice, and you will be sent to Arthur Road jail. Send me whether I said that Bhago Hindu Waris Aya Bolo. Send me, otherwise tomorrow I will send you defamation notice, and I will ensure that you are sent to Arthur Road jail or तलोजा जेल. You will be sent to jail. No, I don't speak. I will send you to jail. I will give you a defamation notice.
Sanju Verma ji, it's your statement. It's your statement against Waris Pathan. Waris Pathan has said it is not correct. He will send you a defamation notice unless you prove it otherwise. Well, the channel has nothing to do with this. This is a statement by a responsible political party spokesperson, and Mr. Waris Pathan is an individual in his own right. So please, Times Now and the Newshour takes no onus for these charges and counter charges. Sanju Verma, the defamation, Waris Pathan, if you have to send to Sanju Verma, please, send it to her. The channel is not endorsing any of the statements that have been made. But I want to come back to the central point of this debate, and I want to ask you, Ghanshyam Tiwari ji. Ghanshyam Tiwari ji, अब समाजवादी पार्टी का क्या होगा? बिकॉज वारिस पठान ने डिबेट ही नहीं, ओवैसी साहब ने पूरा पॉलिटिक्स का जो तापमान है और डायरेक्शन बदलने की कोशिश की है. यू थिंक ही विल बी सक्सेसफुल इन चेंजिंग द डायरेक्शन, सक्सेसफुल इन मेकिंग दिस फ्रॉम अ 2-horse रेस to now a third dark horse, Asaduddin Owaisi?
Well, Navika ji, I think the election in Uttar Pradesh, the agenda has already been set. The agenda is Bhajpa banam Bhaichara, Bhajpa banam Rozgar, Bhajpa banam Garibi, Bhajpa banam Kisan, Bhajpa banam Aman Chain. And in that agenda, any incident, however serious, this is a serious incident, there's statements made in Parliament, and I respect that, but any incident will not derail the bure din that people have faced at the cost of Bharatiya Janata Party. And on something which is not defamatory, I can say that Adityanath ji filed his election nomination today, and in his sampatti, in his assets, there is a rifle and there is a revolver. So it demonstrates the culture of Bharatiya Janata Party. They attack other parties, but this is a party that dwells, builds, supports Hinsa Vahinis across the country, and particularly in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is going to reject Hinsa Vahini. We don't want a chief minister whose achievement is holding a rifle and a revolver.
Ishkaran Bhandari, is there a law which says that members of the Legislative Assembly cannot have a license in their name?
Generally, Ghanshyam makes very sensible points. I'm very surprised that he's objecting to a licensed revolver which is being declared in an election affidavit. As per law, the chief minister is just following the law of the land. You have a problem with maybe the problem is that he has a licensed one, whereas in UP there used to be a time everybody used to have a katta, or the gangsters used to have katta, so they are objecting to people having licensed arms. Same way Mr. Owaisi asked for a licensed gun, which is his right to ask for it. So what is wrong with licensed guns now? That you are objecting to it, that is beyond me, but it is his choice to object to.
No, I'm not objecting. I'm saying it demonstrates the culture of Bharatiya Janata Party. And
to be secure to have licensed guns is a good culture to have. It's a good culture to have that you need to have licensed guns. We saw what happened. No, we have seen what has happened in UP.
I didn't interrupt you. You finished your point. I then added. Please don't interrupt. Please. It demonstrates the culture of Bharatiya Janata Party, where their claim, the asset is not having a degree, having knowledge of something, not a tablet, not a laptop. Not a tablet, not a laptop. We've criticized him politically. He has a revolver and he has a rifle. And he's supposedly a Saint Mahant. You name another Saint Mahant who had a rifle, right? This is the Godse-wad of Bharatiya Janata Party, which is demonstrated in their chief minister candidate itself.
Okay, all right. Sanju Verma, now a declared licensed weapon, is the subject matter of radicalization and peace and Hindutva.
You know, Navika ji, since this debate is about hate, and from hate we move to hypocrisy, I just want to remind Ghanshyam, though I know that he has an excellent memory. Abhi kuch hi hafte pehle, there was the revelation in Times Now, and the video was played where the Samajwadi Party leader Adil Chaudhary, what did he say? He said, हम जब सत्ता में वापस आएंगे, एक-एक के घर के अंदर घुसकर, एक-एक को बाहर घसीटकर, एक-एक से गिन-गिन कर, चुन-चुन कर बदला लेंगे. Nahid Hassan, accused of the Hindu genocide at Kairana, is the Samajwadi Party's candidate from Kairana. And Ghanshyam Tiwari sitting here and giving bhashan on political propriety to the BJP. उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को डांटे, ये हालत है समाजवादी पार्टी की. 1990, your Netaji Mulayam Singh Yadav fired on unarmed car sevak, and today your Akhilesh Yadav को कृष्ण भगवान सपने में नजर आते हैं. हिंदुओं को मूर्ख बनाना बंद करो. 2022 Yogi will be back, and it will be the extinction of...
Well, let me also get in the centrist party and Tehseen Poonawalla. I want to ask you this question. Centrist party, where does it feature in this entire election?
This election in Uttar Pradesh, and I've repeatedly said on your show, is a fight between Congress and SP. The BJP will not cross 50. Mark my words, the BJP is not crossing 50 in Uttar Pradesh. You may do any opinion poll surveys, laugh like whoever you want to laugh like, but the BJP is not crossing 50 in Uttar Pradesh. In a state where a sitting member of parliament can be shot in broad daylight and there are no consequences, it shows how
no consequences. 2 people have been arrested. Attempt to murder, section 307 of IPC has been imposed on them. You think nothing happens?
They were from BJP. It's exactly what Kancham was saying. Those who have charges of attempt to murder on them or were encouraging dead bodies of women.
So Suresh Kalmadi was from the Congress party. He faced the law. So does that mean that everybody in the Congress party also has to go to jail?
Did Suresh Kalmadi have murder charges on him?
No.
Did Suresh Kalmadi have attempt to murder?
I'm just talking about criminal charges. Misappropriation is also a criminal charge.
Of dead women to be raped. Did he encourage those speeches? He didn't. Attempt to murder on the sitting chief minister, writing charges. The Supreme Court objected to it. Those who are today in power are people who have been...
Ishkaran, you're the lawyer. Respond to Mr. Tehseen Poonawalla.
No, firstly, I want to respond to Tehseen's fond hope. I don't know which part of the country he is in. It must be very good weather. He is in half sleeves and all. And he seems to be in a chilled out mood. That is why he's making statements that BJP won't cross 50 seats. People who lose election from their home constituency from 80 will tell what will BJP do, which is having 300 seats. It is just a comment on the lighter side. I think he's in a party mode and he's making party statements, not serious political statements.
Please, Ishkaran, mark it. On 10th March, BJP will be less than 50 in Uttar Pradesh. And if you are taking my political analysis, please ask Mr. Amit Shah ji, who told Navika,
let me answer.
Gujarat BJP is getting 150, 250 in West, 230 in West Bengal.
On Times Now, let's have a bet. If BJP is below 50, I will take you for dinner. If BJP is above 50, you take me for dinner.
I don't know if betting is a legal activity on national television, so I'm not part of this. So please make your bets outside of Times Now and the Newshour. But I want to ask Mr. Waris Pathan. Mr. Waris Pathan, while we condemn the attack on Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi in the strongest possible words, और हम दुआ करते हैं कि उनको भगवान, अल्लाह, जीसस, वाहे गुरु उनको लंबी उम्र दराज करे, लेकिन I want to ask you, I want to ask you, is this really motivated by some politics? Because that is the question people of India are asking. Respond to that.
No, why should there be any motivation? He had gone to campaign as per the election commissioner guidelines. He went to Meerut, he was doing door-to-door campaigning, he came to Delhi, and on the way, if somebody attacks, what is he going to do? What can he do? See, this is what when Modi says that आजकल दिन में यहाँ पे हथियार नहीं, सूरज ढलने के बाद हथियार नहीं निकलते उत्तर प्रदेश में. सही कहा मोदी ने. आजकल दिन दहाड़े निकल रहे हैं हथियार उत्तर प्रदेश में, और हमने आपने सबने देखा किस तरह से ओवैसी साहब पे अटैक हुआ. टेनी का लड़का किस तरह से गाड़ी लेके दिन दहाड़े चले गया, हमारे किसानों को कुचल दिया. अब देखना ये है, we want to watch when will the bulldozer be put on the assailants. When will the bulldozer be run on Sachin and Shubham's home? Let's see. What are you?
Well, as I said, this winter, we've seen high temperatures in Uttar Pradesh. At least the political temperatures continue to rise in Uttar Pradesh. And with these political temperatures rising, the fact of the matter is, first set of polls begin on the 10th of February, and that is in western Uttar Pradesh. At least 85 seats in Uttar Pradesh have a population of Muslims which is 25% to 40%. And it is in these seats that Asaduddin Owaisi may have his eyes on. He definitely wants to be a face that the Muslim voters may choose. He said he would fight on 100 seats, and he knows that fighting 100 seats will not make his party as somebody who can form a government in Uttar Pradesh. So what really is the strategy of Asaduddin? Does he want a larger role in the politics of Uttar Pradesh? While there has been an attack on his life, why are other political parties saying that this is politically motivated? Well, investigations will reveal the entire truth. Can the Uttar Pradesh government come out with the results of this investigation sooner than later? Will this change the course of elections in Uttar Pradesh? All eyes are going to be on that. But for the moment, we leave it at that and thank all our guests joining us on the News Hour tonight.